Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. Just you, Karen. Karen must stop talking. Hi, everybody. If you're out in the far zones, you're welcome to squeeze in if you like. This is a pretty impressive gathering for a middle of a beautiful Sunday afternoon. My name is Charlene Deal. I'm the director of the Winnipeg International Writers Festival, and we are one of 4 groups that are the coalition that manages the Manitoba Book Awards each year. So I will just do a 2-second shout out to my partners in crime on this venture. Working alongside me at the WIWF are Chelsea and Alina, who are both here. Will you give a wave to them? The Association of Manitoba Book Publishers, Michelle and Chelsea again. I'm getting the sense that this is sort of Chelsea's part and she's over there. You could be right. She knows everything about you. If you have something on that table over there, she knows more about you than you know.
I was just saying that.
The Manitoba Writers Guild is one of the 4, and I would single out Andy and Susan. I'm not sure if either of them are here, but if so, if you give a wave. Haven't seen them. And the Winnipeg Public Library, we have Kathleen and Chris. So, and obviously, the most important part of a gathering like this is you who've come to celebrate this day. So will you just make a big noise? So we are gathering to celebrate the extraordinary talent in our literary community. A common refrain across the jury conversations that I was moderating is how much amazing, compelling work comes from this place. So our writers, our designers, our illustrators, our publishers are at the very top of their game, and they are putting us on the map in this country. So a huge shout out to that group. You know, books and writers can't really thrive without readers. So all of you here are also committed readers, and I know you lean on groups of committed readers. And we are gathering in a place which supports the gathering of writers and the gathering of stories. So a huge shout out to our host, McNally Robinson Booksellers, who makes us at home here. So Angela's running around here somewhere making everything look easy. So a big thanks to you, Angela, wherever you're hiding right now. And then and the other hider is the Wizard of Oz, John Taves, who hides behind his back. So a big shout out to both of those. And we are gathered here on Treaty 1 territory. This is traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Ojibwe, Dakota and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. And here, this story is on the community of Roostertown. So this is a place where people have been gathering and trading stories and sharing the importance of stories to our cultural experience and our building of community. So this is really important that we all know the value of the stories that we carry and the value of the stories that we listen to. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge and observe where we are and our gratitude for being here and for being able to make the stories that we make. I'm going to be announcing the nominees for each award and the winner. And I'll acknowledge the sponsors. We have a great group of sponsors that make these awards possible. We're not doing sort of a formal gathering, so there will be no sort of handshakes and speeches, but there must be an eruption of the loudest, rowdiest applause after each one. Okay, is that a fair deal? And if you are a winner, whether you are one of the designers, the publishers, writers, then you can find Chelsea. And I think I mentioned before, she knows more about me than you know. She has certificates for these awards, which she'll distribute afterward. So this is exciting. We haven't been able to gather like this to recognize these awards since the start of the pandemic. Some of you were, yeah, here we are. Yeah, the 2023 edition. Here we go. I'm going to read the nominees for the first award, the Alexander Kennedy Isbister Award for Nonfiction, the Prix Alexander Kennedy Isbister pour les études et d'essais. The sponsor for this is the Manitoba Arts Council, and here are the shortlisted titles. The Battle Cry of the Siamese Kitten, Even More Tales from the Accidental Veterinarian, by Philip Schlott, published by ECW Press. How the World Really Works, The Science Behind How We Got Here and Where We're Going, by Vaclav Smil, published by Viking. Malleable Forms, by Nika Walsh, published by ARP Books. My Privilege, My Responsibility, by Sheila North, published by Great Plains Publications. And Overcome, The Stories of Women Who Grew Up in the Child Welfare System, by Anne Mann, published by Great Plains Publications. Let's do a rowdy round right now. Excellent, very well done. And the winner is Malleable Forms by Nika Walsh. This is going to be fun. Carol Shields Winnipeg Book Award. The Prix Littéraire Carol Shields de la Ville de Winnipeg. Sponsor is the Winnipeg Arts Council with funding from the City of Winnipeg. And we have 4 shortlisted titles for this award. For a Better World, The Winnipeg General Strike and the Workers' Revolt, edited by James Naylor, Rhonda L. Hinther, and Jim Maturok, published by the University of Manitoba Press. The Secret of the Jade Bangle by Linda Trin, illustration by Clayton Min, published by Anik Press. The Sweetest Dance on Earth by Di Brandt, published by Turnstone Press. And The Theory of Crows by David A. Robertson, published by HarperCollins Publishers Limited. Cue the noise. And the winner is The Theory of Crows by David A. Robertson. The next award category is the Eileen McTavish Sykes Award for the Best First Book. The sponsor for this one is the Winnipeg Foundation. And we have 5 titles in contention for this one. My Privilege, My Responsibility by Sheila North, published by Great Plains Publications. The Secret of the Jade Bangle by Linda Trin, illustration by Clayton Nguyen, published by Anik Press. Shelter Belts by Jonathan Dick, published by Conundrum Press. Through Disassembled Houses of Perfect Stones by David Yerkes Williamson, published by At Bay Press. The War Being Waged by Darla Contois, published by J. Gordon Shillingford Publishing. First book, you know that first book is not like anything that comes after it. And for this one, we have co-winners. The Secret of the Jade Bangle by Linda Trin, illustration by Clayton Nguyen, published by Anik Press. And Shelter Belts by Jonathan Dick. The next award category is the Manitoba Award, the Prix Manitoba, which recognizes excellence in writing or storytelling and community support. by an Indigenous writer. And the sponsor is the Center for Creative Writing and Oral Culture at the University of Manitoba. And we have 6 candidates for this award: Sonia Valentine, Darla Contois, William Dumas, Theodore Nijote Fontaine, David A. Robertson, and Joshua Whitehead. If you are not familiar with the work of those 6, I urge you to make yourself familiar. They are, that's a powerhouse group. And we actually have 3 co-winners for this one: William Dumas, David A. Robertson, and Joshua Whitehead. The next award category is the Manuela Diaz Book Design and Illustration Awards, the Prix Manuela Diaz de Concepción Graphique y de Ilustración en Edición. The first category is book design, conception de livre, and there are 6 titles here. The Loyal Daughter by Nancy Lamb, covering illustration by MC Jodry, covering interior design by Matthew Stevens and MC Jodry, published by At Bay Press. Malleable Forms by Mika Walsh, covering interior design by Relish New Brand Experience, published by ARP Books. Resurgence, engaging with Indigenous narratives and cultural expressions in and beyond the classroom, edited by Christine Malott and Katya Adamov Ferguson. Cover design by Rihanna Maristy. Cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Portage and Main Press. Teacher Take Care, a guide to well-being and workplace wellness for educators, edited by Jennifer E. Lawson. Cover design by Jennifer Lum. Interior design by Relish New Brand Experience, published by Portage and Main Press. Warehouse Journal, Volume 31, edited and designed by Aleja Pascua, Dave Castillo, and Joanna Babadella, published by Warehouse Journal Faculty of Architecture, University of Manitoba. And Waiwa, Indigenous Pedagogies, an Act for Reconciliation and Anti-Racist Education, by Joe Crona. Cover illustration by Joe Crona and Jason Fields. Cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Portage and Main Press. Some gorgeous books in that list, I have to say. The winner is the Warehouse Journal, Volume 31, edited and designed by Aleja Pascua, David Castillo, and Joanna Babadilla, published by Warehouse Journal, Faculty of Architecture, University of Manitoba. The Manuela Diaz Book Design and Illustration Awards is for illustration, and there are 3 titles in this category. For As Long as Zebras Are Striped by Julia Shetler, illustration by Sarah Neville, cover and interior design by Peasantry Press, published by Peasantry Press. Resilience, Honoring the Children of Residential Schools by Jackie Travers, forward by Graham Shungus, illustration by Jackie Travers, cover and interior design by Melody Morissette, published by Roseway Publishing and imprint of Fernie Publishing. And Status Update by George Tolles, illustration by Cliff Island, cover and interior design by Matthew Stevens and MC Jodry, published by At Bay Press. The winner of this category is Resilience, Honoring the Children of Residential Schools and all these book design books, like just go and hold them and page through them. They're just gorgeous. The third category in the Manuela Diaz award category is for graphic novel, roman graphique. And we have 4 titles in this group. Dead Work by the Dead Work Collective, edited by Adam Petrash, illustration by GM B. Chemichuk, Justin Curry, Stephen Call, Zach Schuster, and Christopher Smith. Cover design by GMB Chemichuk, interior design by Lyndon Rodchenka, published by the Dead Work Collective. Giju's Gift by Brandon Mitchell, illustration by Veronica Baranova, lettering by Britt Wilson, cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Highwater Press. Road Allowance Era by Kathleen Vermette, illustration by Scott B. Henderson, coloring by Donovan Yachiak, cover and interior design by Relish New Brand Experience, published by Highwater Press. And Version Control by David A. Robertson, illustration by Scott B. Henderson, coloring by Donovan Yachiak, lettering by Andrew Thomas, cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Highwater Press. In the graphic novel category is Version Control by David A. Robertson. I guess we publish 8 or 10 books a year. The chances That's just jealousy speaking. Our next category is the Margaret Lawrence Award for Fiction, and the sponsor of this one is Manitoba Arts Council, and we have 5 books in the running for this one. The Full Catastrophe by Mayura Cook, published by House of Nancy Press. The Gunsmith's Daughter by Margaret Swetman, published by Goose Lane Editions. The Russian Daughter by Sarah Clausen, published by C&U Press. A 7-Year Ache by Fisher Lavelle, published by Friesen Press. And The Theory of Crows by David A. Robertson, published by HarperCollins Publishers Limited. And so I'm just going to say, if you don't have those 5 books, that is your summer reading. That's your beach reading right there. Right? And be like all elevated. And the winner of this category is The Full Catastrophe by Mayura Cook. Next category is the Mary Scorer Award for Best Book by a Manitoba Publisher. The Premier Scorer pour le meilleur livre par un éditeur de Manitoba. Pardon my terrible French. The sponsor for this one is Friesen's Corporation, and we have 6 titles in this group. Dancing with Our Ancestors by Sarah Florence Davidson and Robert Davidson, cover and illustration by Janine Gibbons, cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Highwater Press. Exactly What I Said, Translating Words and Worlds by Elizabeth Yeoman, cover design by David Drummond, interior design by Jess Corshell, published by University of Manitoba Press. Heroine, An Illustrated History by Susan Boyd, illustration, cover, and interior design by David Lester, published by Fernwood Publishing. Overcome, Stories of Women Who Grew Up in the Child Welfare System by Anne Mann, cover and interior design by Relish New Brand Experience, published by Great Plains Publications. Resurgence, Engaging with Indigenous Narratives and Cultural Expressions in and Beyond that Classroom, edited by Christine Malott and Katya Adamov-Ferguson, cover illustration by Rhiannon Maristy, cover and interior design by Jennifer Lum, published by Portage and Main Press, and Shop Class Hall Pass, Facing the Buried Trauma of Sexual Assault by Karen Martel, cover design by Terry Gallagher, interior design by Karen Hyen, published by Signature Editions. The recipient of the Mary Scorer Award for Best Book by a Manitoba Publisher is Exactly What I Said, Translating Words and Worlds by Elizabeth Yeoman, cover design by David Drummond, interior design by Jess Corshell, published by the University of Manitoba Press. I am sorry about this. I missed the page break did not work well. So there is actually one more book. Yeah, Karen's going to give me some serious talking to after it because it's another signature edition. I'm so sorry. Also, I love this book. This Side of Light, Selected Poems, 1995 to 2020 by Carolyn Marie Wade, cover design by Terry Gallagher, interior design by Karen Hyen, published by Signature Editions. I'm so sorry. There has to be an error every time, right? So you can all kind of offer Karen, really what you need to do is go buy that book because you heard about it last, right? Is that reasonable? Yeah. Honestly, you'll love the book too. It is an absolutely glorious book. What's that?
By both.
Yes, exactly. Buy both. Buy both Karen's books and then she'll forgive me for my indiscretion here. The next category is McNally Robinson Book for Young People. In the older category, the sponsor of this is our very own McNally Robinson Booksellers, where we are right now. We have 5 titles in this category. The Gift of the Little People by William Dumas, illustration by Rhiannon Jolson, published by High Water Press. Lessons in Fusion by Primrose Maria Kanazim, published by Yellow Dog and imprint of Great Plains Publications. The Stone Child, Misewa Saga, Book 3 by David A. Robertson, published by Puffin Canada. Treaty Words, For as Long as the Rivers Flow by Amy Kraft, illustration by Luke Swenson, published by Anna Press, and The Undercover Book List by Colleen Nelson, published by Pajama Press. Those are great books. If you've got young readers in your life, that's the best reading list you can find for this year. There's more good lists coming up. There's actually co-winner for this award as well. So we've got 2 winners. The first is Lessons in Fusion by Primrose. Did you hear that little howl? And the co-winner is The Stone Child, the Misewa Saga, Book 3 by David A. Robertson. 2 categories left. The McNally Robinson Book of the Year Award. The sponsor again is McNally Robinson Booksellers, and we have 5 titles in this group. Flyway by Sarah Enns, published by Turnstone Press. The Full Catastrophe by Mayra Cook, published by House of Nancy Press. How the World Really Works, The Science Behind How We Got Here and Where We're Going by Vaclav Snow, published by Viking. Malleable Forms by Nika Walsh, published by ARP Books. And Shelter Belts by Jonathan Dick, published by Conundrum Press. The McNally Robinson Book of the Year Award is Shelter Belts by Jonathan Dick. And our final category is Le Prix Littéraire Rue de Chambeau. The sponsor is the Conseil des Arts de Manitoba. And we have 3 titles. And I'm going to read these in French, and you're just going to have to put a really nice accent on them, okay? Allumette, Poème Engageant, 2014 to 2018. I figured that out, and then I forgot how to do it. So, par Charles Leblanc, publié par les éditions Doulet. Mont Blanc Winnipeg Express par Seriam, publié par les éditions Doulet. Une petite déviation par Lise Gowrie Diallo, publié par les éditions Doulet. Announce, I want to say how amazing it is to live in a city where there's actually French books being published. So one more big noisy you know already it's going to be an édition du pays. I'll just extend the attention one more second. The winner is Petite Déviation. Please give her a round. That's an amazing lineup of books. I encourage you to spend some time at the book table over here. And you know, the best way you can celebrate the publishers and the writers and the designers and illustrators in our midst is to buy their books. Remember, you all have to buy 2 of Karen's. But take some minutes, and if you know some of these winners, do congratulate them on their work. Thank them for their contributions. If we didn't have people slaving away in these various roles, those of us who love to read would be much poorer, and our community at large would also be much poorer. It's so important that we have these stories and that we also have these chances to gather. So my final thanks is to all of you for coming and making this a celebratory event. So enjoy some chatter time, buy some books, have a little bit of food if there's any left, and talk amongst yourselves.